transparent and trustworthy, the way wholesale should be.
This is Automotive Industry News.
Hi, I'm Juliana Jordan with NIADA TV, and welcome to an exciting edition of Automotive Industry News. Last month, independent auto dealers and industry partners came together in Washington, D.C. to make the voice of the independent dealer heard on Capitol Hill. NIADA was founded in 1946 with the goal of advocating for the independent dealer. With this mission in mind, it's easy to see this as the most important event of the year. The National Policy Conference brings together industry leaders and partners from across the country to unite around the goal of bettering the independent auto industry and those who represent it. NPC kicks off with NIADA's association meetings, where national and state officers come together to lay the political landscape and instate the company's vision for the upcoming year. Monday night concludes with a welcome reception where our dealers and industry partners will come together to network and prepare for the days ahead. Tuesday's agenda was packed with education and industry updates from agencies like the Federal Trade Commission, NHTSA, the National Safety Council, and even a fireside chat with Kathy Kraninger from the CFPB. This is the first time in the association's history that we've had a director from the CFPB speak with our members. Exclusive to this year, the NPC hosted Andrew Olmam, who's the second economic advisor to our current president. He spoke about the president's agenda for maintaining a strong economy, prioritizing small businesses, tax cuts, and credit availability. One of the highlights for Tuesday is our keynote speaker, Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North, who served 22 years as a U.S. Marine. For a number of years, he served as the counterterrorism coordinator for the National Security Staff and has authored 17 best-selling books. He is a co-founder of Freedom Alliance, an organization dedicated to serving wounded U.S. military personnel and their families.
Talk a little bit about engagement in the political process. That's what we're talking, that's why we're here for our dealers. How important is that?
Well, it's crucial because the regulations that they can concoct up there in Capitol Hill can literally put people out of business, or it can make business better for everybody, the customer, the dealer, the product. All of that's important because these guys have awesome power, and they do in the state houses across the country. So it's very important what you're doing here.
When you talk to these people about leadership, what kind of things do you tell small business owners about how important that is and what kind of skills they need?
In many cases, the best leaders you can find are those who are servants to those they lead. And I think that's a crucial part of the whole thing. If you can inspire people by making them show up for the things that have to be done, the leader is obviously going to be very effective.
We're here kind of telling the story of the used car industry. What do you know about the used car industry?
I've been supporting you guys for 51 years. In 51 years, I've owned 33 cars, according to USAA. And I think it's 21 of them have been used cars. And the best ones I've ever had, I can say this without offending anybody, were all the Auroras I bought used and had a great time. I just wish that Oldsmobile was still building them. Tuesday
wrapped up with our congressional reception.
But I want to thank all of you for what you're doing. I want to thank you for being my family. My family back home, we're celebrating our 80th year in business. My dad started in 1939 as a Huttmobile Packard dealer. And now my girls are third generation running our business. I couldn't be more proud of them. And we have the greatest industry in this country. And don't let anybody tell you anything different. And I can tell you I'm fighting every single day for our industry. We only have 3 car dealers in Congress. We really have 4 because I've sworn Andy in. I swore him in as a car dealer, so we have 4. But we're fighting every day. You being up here, other colleagues of mine, members, hearing the importance of this industry is critical. With Andy, we were able to last session really put a dent in Dodd-Frank, which we all know what it did to our notes and the challenges it gave us all. And the most important thing, we protected interest deductibility on our floor plan, which saved our industry.
The other issue in financial services was obviously with the indirect auto lending guidance from the CFPB. And too many of the busybodies in Washington and the unelected, unaccountable bureaucrats in Washington thought that if you were arranging financing, helping your customer, you were up to no good. But the truth of the matter is, whether it's you all self-financing or you all arranging financing, you're doing your customers a service. And so many in Washington don't understand the concept of free enterprise, especially in an industry like yours, which is so competitive. Competition and choice is consumer protection. Free enterprise is consumer protection. And so we are thankful that we have a new attitude at the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. But as your elected representatives in Congress in the Financial Services Committee, we will commit to you, to people who create jobs and serve their customers through competition and choice. We are going to be a watchful eye of oversight over unelected bureaucrats so that you can do your job, which is serve your customers. Thank you for what you do.
The Political Action Committee Cup was awarded to the region who raised the most in contributions for our Political Action Committee Fund. This year, the winner was Region 3. Automotive industry news will return in just a moment.
This is the future, and you're in it.
ACV is a more convenient and transparent version of the traditional auction. We save dealerships time, money, and we help them move inventory.
That was really good. You're so welcome.
It's all about trust.
The pinnacle of NIADA's National Policy Conference is the day we spend on Capitol Hill. This year we had 120 meetings scheduled, and in the past 7 years we've held 800 meetings overall. These meetings primarily discuss the association's position and concerns on recalls, arbitration, the credit loss standard, and the USMCA.
How important is that for these people to be here to advocate for their businesses and their interests?
Well, I think it's very important. As much as they appreciate and want to have their association director be able to advocate for them, from our standpoint, we love to see the people from back home, these people we know, people we trust. They can tell the stories of how things that happen here in D.C. affect them back home, how it affects their ability to sell their product or take care of their people. Those stories are important to us to let us know how we can be helpful, how things are going here to be impactful to them. And so I look forward to visits from my folks back home. To me, this is important. This is why we're here, to listen and be able to act on that information.
Our members are continually overwhelmed and appreciative of the positive responses they receive from their legislators. We spent the evening wrapping up at a farewell reception where everyone shared highlights from their day on Capitol Hill.
We were able to meet with both Dems and Republicans, and in California, there's a lot more Dems than there are Republicans. On the most part, the Republicans were in line. When we met, we went to Kevin McCarthy's office, and Kevin said, I agree with you guys on everything you said. So it was pretty quick and easy. But what I was surprised was that when we went to some of the Democrats, that they also agreed. And the moment that they saw that we were a small business, 5 to 10 employees, that's the normal membership, all of a sudden their whole facade changed. Because I don't think, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, everybody wants to help the small business guy.
I didn't know what to expect, so I came into this open-minded with no expectations. And really what I've always felt is just a small person in this industry. I felt like I had power today. I felt like I had a voice today. And that's something that's priceless in any industry. The people that I thought were going to be on the opposite side of the page, that weren't going to be receptive to what we had to say, were engaging. They asked questions. They wanted to know. And I was not expecting that at all. I was expecting a closed door, go away. We really didn't mean to set a meeting today. And they didn't do that. They took notes. They asked questions. They were interested in what we had to say as an association, and that was very encouraging.
Once again, in 2019, we brought more dealers to Washington to meet with more legislators than ever before. Being involved is what the National Policy Conference and NIADA are all about. No one can tell your story better than you, and we want your story as an independent dealer to be heard. We can't wait to see you next year, and thank you for watching this special edition of Automotive Industry News. I'm Juliana Jordan.